Hi, a very good evening. Yes, I'm quite well. I'm doing very fine. So when you come, I would wish that you share. So you share for other people to also watch as we seek to do this. Let's understand that the purpose of this video is to, educate people for them to understand that COVID-19 is real. A lot of people think it's something that does not exist and that they just say it to, scare them. I've heard people say they want to, see someone having it before they will believe. Interestingly, this evening we are going to learn a lot. I've experienced it. You can see I'm fine. So, a lot of you who are thinking probably I'm somewhere on a ventilator or I'm severely ill and you know I'm very fine. I'm very very fine. So what I want you to do right now is that as soon as you log in, you just want to share so that other people will also watch. You need to share. You can't watch without sharing, because we want everybody to also learn from what we have experienced. Is a learning process. I know there are a lot of people who wouldn't even want to talk about their condition because of the fear for stigmatization. But being a health advocate, who advocates a lot on hepatitis B, I don't see it as anything to also talk about COVID-19, which we are currently battling with. So, you are welcome to Healthy Liver Foundation Ghana. My name is Alfred Yamfola Henkra, and then this evening I am taking you on a journey to talk to you about my experience with COVID-19. So just as I want more people, let's share and get more people to watch, and educate them. Let's educate the masses. I am worried about the stigma, the stigmatization. A lot of people, somebody calls you and is like, hey, then when I see you, I will not get closer to you again. Yes, the fact that someone tested positive for COVID-19 doesn't mean the person is going to live with the virus for the rest of their life. So, how did my journey with COVID-19 begin? Okay, so somewhere last week, I wasn't feeling too fine, and I work at the male ward at my hospital, and though there's been instances where suspected cases had been admitted there, but none of them tested positive. So we couldn't pinpoint and say that is where the source of infection is. So, as people or as health workers, COVID-19 is such that most of the people who are having it are asymptomatic. That is, they don't have any symptoms. So, you might not be able to pinpoint and say this person is positive or not. But all the suspected cases that have been admitted to my ward were negative, though there had been reports of positive cases in the hospital as a whole. But for my unit, where I particularly work, there hadn't been any positive case. All the cases they suspected were negative. But along the line, somewhere last week, Wednesday, I noticed that, usually I do night duties. So the Monday when we close, Tuesday, Wednesday, then I noticed I wasn't feeling too fine. I started having this itchy throat. I started having catarrh, though I wasn't coughing. Then quickly I said, okay, usually when it happens that way, I resort to, taking azithromycin or amoxiclav before it gets out of hand, because at times it can be very severe with fever and other things. So I thought it was just one of the usual things that was happening. So quickly I reached out to get amoxiclav. Then I said, okay, to take amoxiclav for 5 to 7 days is gonna be tedious, so I prefer azithromycin. So I went to buy azithromycin, and I started taking it on the Thursday. I started taking it on the Wednesday. Thursday I took it, and then I noticed I wasn't getting any better, because usually by the time I'll be done with the second day, I should be fine. I should be getting better just to complete the third day. So on the Thursday evening, when I was home, I noticed I wasn't fine. When I slept in the middle of the night, I felt that my chest was paining. I could feel weak. I felt heat all over me. Then quickly, I noticed I wasn't, doing very well. I just brushed it out. So the Friday, when I was going for night, and then, my hospital is such that they because of the positive case that had been recorded at another department, we were told they were selecting, some wards to also, test them for the COVID-19, and that it was our turn. So I went for night duty on Friday. The Saturday morning, I went to take my sample. I thought it was, something, but because the way I was feeling was persistent, then my mind started going there, that, hey, or is it this COVID? But because there hadn't been any case which had been recorded at my unit, I just ignored it. And then the sample was taken on Saturday. Sample had been taken on Saturday. They did the thing, they did the test, and then I noticed that Saturday, Sunday, I went to work. Monday, I wasn't getting any better. I was still having the symptoms, and nothing was improving. So quickly, Thursday, I was called. I was told, they sent a message that we should make ourselves available, and that the results were in. But I knew it was likely I was going to be positive, because it's been a week, and the same way I was feeling was still there. But because they had taken my sample, not because I had reported, but because they were doing it for the various departments, because we've had a positive case at a unit, and they felt some of us had been exposed, and so they were doing the tests. I was waiting for it to come. So immediately, I told the family, especially the kids, to stay away from me when I started having the symptoms. So I told the family that I need to have a minimal contact with the children and then the entire family. So it was more like a semi-isolation, because the results wasn't out. But because, being a health worker and knowing what is in the system and what was happening at that moment, I just decided to, isolate myself, take myself away from the family, avoid contact so that I don't infect them. So basically, that is what I did until the Friday when we went back to the hospital. And then I want to commend my facility, because one of the key things that they did that helped is to allay the anxiety and the fear that other people had. Personally, I wasn't afraid, because I felt, if even it was COVID-19, the symptoms that I was having at that point was getting better, so I wasn't so much afraid. And I had taken the azithromycin for like 4 days, so it was quite okay. But one thing that they did was that, they get to counsel you, they get to let you understand what is happening, like they did the necessary things to inform us, made sure we were fine, and then they told us that we were positive. Personally, I was told that I was positive. And then the thing is that I wasn't the only person at the unit who also tested positive, so it didn't really come with so much, issues. And then going forward, you are positive. Is personally, being positive is just like any other thing. And interestingly, at that meeting, I told them I was aware that I was positive, because of the way I was feeling. It was and you see, interestingly, the good thing is that the symptoms of COVID-19 is just like having an upper respiratory tract infection. Okay, I know some people, they lose their sense of smell, they lose their sense of taste. There are other people, they cough. Some people experience fever. Some people, they have general body pains. Others also experience joint pains. But for me, what I experienced was I had itchy throat. Once a while I would sneeze, but I wasn't coughing. I had general body pains, and then I had headache too. The general body pains, and my ribs, both ribs were quite hurting. They were hurting, and then the chest was also hurting. Yes, so that was what I experienced. So I just want to encourage you, but let's not forget that it's not everybody who tests positive that experience symptoms. Majority of the people are asymptomatic. So moving forward, you know your status, then what are you going to do? Okay, so did I become sad? Yes, I was sad. I was sad because I felt um, I wasn't scared, but I was sad. And I was sad because I was gonna be away from the family. That was where the sorrow was, especially my kid. So you notice that I then had to decide as to whether I want to go to a treatment center or I want to isolate at home. And then by God's grace, where I live is a comfortable apartment. And at that point, at the Friday when I was being told that I had tested positive, the symptoms had subsided. Like everything that I was feeling had reduced drastically. So, I felt it was okay to stay away from the family, and be home. And then, so currently as I speak to you, I'm in isolation and I'm doing very well. I don't have any symptoms again. And then the good news is that the infection didn't take away my appetite. So as for the the infection didn't take away my appetite. So, and you need to eat. You have to eat very well. And I fortunately I didn't lose my taste bud. Okay, I didn't lose my taste bud. So I'm able to eat. I have my, taking a lot of water, taking a lot of fruits. They've put together some lime, pineapple, and other things that I also take. And from Friday that I was told about my status to today, I have improved very well. And the symptoms are all gone. Just that you could still, once in a while, you still feel some kind of congested nostril. But, that one is not so severe. So I am fine. I am doing very well. I just want you to know that anybody who tests positive for COVID-19 is just like you. I mean, the fact that someone is positive doesn't mean the person is dying or has to be put on a ventilator, like how we are imagining things. No, it's not like that. I know other colleagues who also tested positive, and some are not even having any symptoms. They are, I think, among the people that got exposed, I think I can say I'm even the only person who might even be having some symptoms. I mean, I don't know, but I'm not sure. But majority of them are asymptomatic, but just that they need to isolate and make sure they are fine and tested negative. But even now, with the new WHO protocols, but Charlie, I want to remain in quarantine because I can't afford to expose my family. So, contact tracing has been done, and then the family too is doing very well. But there are low moments. I have cried. And why did I cry? Okay, so Sunday, before the kids got out of the home, it was a Father's Day, and I heard some knock on the door. I went there, and it was my son and my daughter who had come to say, "Daddy, happy Father's Day. We love you from afar," because they were leaving the home. And I think I got quite teary. I got quite emotional. And that is the low moment about this whole quarantine thing, where you are kept away from your family. It's not a pleasant thing. So this evening, I just want to encourage you that stay away, stay safe, get your masks on. Some of us, I believe probably we might have nursed a patient who was asymptomatic, who didn't have any symptom and was positive or something, because I'm not the only person who tested positive. That could be the possibility. Yes, and you can't, with that, there isn't much that you can do about it. Yes, those are some of the things that happen to us in line of our duty. So I just want to encourage you with the issue of stigmatization. I tested positive for COVID-19. It doesn't mean I'm less of a human. Yes. So after some time, you notice that hopefully next week I'll repeat my test. And when I repeat the test and it's negative, what it means is that I have developed immunity against COVID-19 that I can never get exposed again. When you meet me, you shake me, you hug me, you are not going to get infected. Because with viral infection, it goes through a natural disease process. And then the last stage of the disease process is recovery. Recovery, where it means that the individual is able to fight the virus and clear it completely from the system. After that, the person develops immunity. So please, let's stop the stigma. When our families test positive and they are taken to the treatment centers and they are back, let's not stigmatize. Let's support them. Understand that COVID-19 is just like any other infection, just like malaria, just like any other thing that someone might have. But you see, the thing is that if you are not aware, or you do not know, you do not know what it is, you might get scared. When you are exhibiting any signs of having cough, difficulty in breathing, losing your taste bud, joint pains, general body pains, we are not in normal times. In those days when there were no COVID-19, you might be exhibiting some of these symptoms. But at this point, when you start experiencing those things, when you are feeling sick, kindly go to the hospital so that quickly they can test you and protect your loved ones. It's very important. And that is one thing I am excited about. Probably because I'm a health worker, I was able to know that this thing that I am having could be COVID-19, so let me stay away from the family. But come to think of it, that if I hadn't known, and even at that point, I started wearing masks in the house because I felt this wasn't normal, and then the family should be, though I didn't know I had come into contact with someone who was positive. So please, when you're experiencing any of these things, I just want to encourage you that just get to the hospital. Let them do a test on you so that you can protect the family. The babies, the kids, the elderly ones, people who are having comorbid conditions, probably what might have helped me is that I don't have any asthma, I don't have any diabetes, any hypertension, any immunosuppressive condition, so my immune system was able to fight the infection. What about the other person you might be exposing? Yes, because I got scared, because I think along the line when I started exhibiting those symptoms, my two kids also started sneezing and coughing even before they took my sample. So when it came and it was positive, I was quite scared. So contact tracing has been done, their samples have been taken, and then we are just hoping that it will come out positive. But they are doing very well. They are strong. Amazingly, I've read a couple of papers, and it's rather suggesting that those children are even able to fight the virus the more. So this evening, I've come to tell you that I'm doing very well. I am as strong as a fiddle, as fit as a fiddle. Yes, those old English. And then I want to encourage you that let's not stigmatize. When you see me in town, don't run away thinking I have corona so you won't get closer to me. No, that is not it. The moment I recover and I test negative, it means I can't infect anybody. Now, even current studies are showing that when someone tests positive or someone has the condition, after 14 days, the person is not even likely to transmit the infection. So I just want you to know that everything is fine. I'm doing very well. COVID-19 is real. Those who are thinking that there is nothing of that sort, please, 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 please. It is real. It is real. It is real. I had always believed that the disease was real. Someone was asking me if I wasn't wearing face masks. Yes, mostly with our work, you can't be wearing the N95 because, you see, the N95 is such that air can't everything you breathe, so it's supposed to be worn for a short period. So I was using the surgical mask. And that one is not so much 100% complete protection. And the virus also might drop on a formite and at the workplace, and the exposure is there. As for the exposure is there, that is why we all need to stay safe. we all need to stay safe. So please stay safe for me, and then get your marks on. I want to encourage you. So, and then you see, the reason why you need to get your marks on was that between the period of last week Wednesday that I started exhibiting the symptoms and everything, I had sat in car, I had traveled, I had gone to places that because I didn't know my status. So please, this is the same thing that somebody might be in the car and you may not know the person's status. So imagine I was out there not putting on a face mask. I sat in a car, not putting on a face mask, and I was talking plenty like that. Last week when I was traveling and there was a woman in the car, she was singing. She was singing without a face mask, and I was like, "Woman, we are not in normal days. So please, you can sing, but at least have a mask." Imagine I was the one who was singing, and I didn't know I had the infection. You can see that a lot of people would have gotten infected. I would have exposed a lot of people in the bus. So please, we are not in normal days. Don't assume, don't look at somebody's face and say the person might not be having the virus. So you can walk around or walk about without the face mask. At least when I'm putting on a face mask and you also have a face mask, even if droplets are coming, they are obstructed and you also stay safe. So I've just come to encourage you that I thank you for the love. I thank my family, my big sister, my kids, everybody, the entire family for their support. I want mommy to know that I'm doing very well. Everybody, I want to thank my hospital, the staff, everybody, the management for the support, the love, the checking up on us, and everything that they are doing. We just want to say that this one we will come out stronger, better, and we will return to work very soon, so that the passion that we had to do our work, this is not going to deter us, but I think it will rather make it strong. So this evening, I've came to share my experience with you that it isn't so pleasant a thing to fall sick. Was I afraid I was gonna die? Yes. No, I wasn't afraid I was gonna die, but my getting to know that you have it getting to know I had it brought some kind of fear. A little. I wasn't afraid. I don't want to say afraid, but as human as we are, at times you want to think when you hear news that people's own have gotten severe. But I think that I knew better that with the immune system I have and not having any comorbid, condition, I was better. So I thank you all for watching. I want you to share to the other people. But I wouldn't go without talking about hepatitis B. So as we are talking about COVID-19, I also want you to know your status. Get tested for hepatitis B and vaccinate if you are negative. If you are positive, you can check my page and then, you get all the information that you need. Get well soon. Thank you. I want to wish my other colleagues who are also positive. I want to wish them well. Oh, we need you back for a serious business. Hope you know. Yes, be strong. I'm strong. I'm better. I'm fine. I'm just hoping that they do the test somewhere next week and then I'll come out negative. Until then, I'm still under quarantine. I'm in here. Stay safe and thank you.